Hello, my name is Sarita Brown, and I have the honor of serving as president of Excelencia in Education. On behalf of everyone who has worked to make this event possible, bienvenidos y gracias for joining us for the 2021 Celebración de Excelencia. We are gathered together in DC and online to recognize and celebrate the work of programs and people who are making a positive difference in the lives of Latino college students and thus ensuring our country's bright future. Excelencia in Education has held this event, Celebración de Excelencia, for many years in the nation's capital, and we've done so in cooperation with the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. We hope you will take a moment and see the letter that we so proudly present to you, written by our friend and the chairman of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, Representative Raul Ruiz. Joining him for this evening is a leader who also comes from California. In January of 2021, Senator Alex Padilla was sworn in and became the first Latino to represent California in the U.S. Senate. Please join me in welcoming Senator Padilla to this year's Celebración de Excelencia.
Good evening. I'm Senator Alex Padilla, and tonight it's my privilege to welcome you to the 2021 Celebración de Excelencia. Excelencia in Education has the important mission of identifying and promoting proven best practices that help Latino students achieve at the highest levels. I want to thank all of you here tonight for your commitment to serving Latino students and helping ensure their success. I have the honor of representing California in the United States Senate, and I'm proud to be the first Latino to do so. My parents immigrated from different regions of Mexico with little formal education, but a tremendous work ethic and big dreams. They taught my sister, my brother, and me the values of getting a good education and seeking out opportunities to serve others. My parents' lessons and sacrifices inspired me to pursue my education at MIT, where I earned my degree in mechanical engineering. Today, I'm proud to advocate for the life-changing power of education. I want to congratulate all 21 Examples of Excelencia finalists, and especially the 7 from California. The 2021 Examples of Excelencia represent outstanding programs in each of the 4 categories: associate, baccalaureate, graduate, and community-based organizations. This national honor is well-deserved. We need to draw on their knowledge to expand access to higher education and make the American dream more attainable for all. In the Senate, I'm working to secure equitable funding in higher education as a founder and co-chair of the Senate HSI Caucus. And we also know that students who can focus on earning their degrees without fear of hunger or eviction are more likely to succeed, which is why I'm fighting for legislation to make college more accessible and affordable for everyone. We need to close graduation equity gaps to secure America's global leadership and innovation. Today's Celebracion is a reminder of all that we can achieve together. Quiero agradecerles a todos por su trabajo y su apoyo tan importante para aumentar los recursos y mejorar programas que son fundamentales para el éxito de estudiantes latinos. Su trabajo es clave para el mejoramiento y fortalecimiento de nuestras comunidades a nivel nacional y las vidas de cada uno de los estudiantes que ayudan. I look forward to our continued work together to educate a new generation of diverse leaders and professionals. Thank you all for sharing and spreading that mission.
Thank you, Senator Padilla. If any of you have ever been to this event, we've reached the point where I use my standard line: good ideas need solid support. We all know that. We can have a great idea, but it remains just that, unless you get the support necessary to turn it into momentum, to turn it into recognition. and to have the resources to advance a strategy. That's what our supporters are. We are very grateful that for all the years that Deborah and I have chosen to focus on accelerating Latino student success in higher education, we have had those supporters. This year, we are most proud that the list has grown long and the support is deep and wide. I'd like you to meet them. Our supporters this year include the Latino Student Success Champions, Bank of America, Google, JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, joined by ACT Center for Equity and Learning, Ad Astra, the Lumina Foundation, Strata Education Network, Ascendium, Diverse Issues in Higher Education, College Board, Helios Education Foundation, Territorium, Trellis Foundation, and Workday. Because of their belief in what we do is blossoming and growing strong. With that, it is now my distinct honor to introduce mi colega, the co-founder of Excelencia in Education, our CEO, and my friend, Deborah Santiago.
Thank you, Sarita. I really wish that we could be here in person. You know, there's nothing like being around others in this community of common cause. Sometimes you don't feel quite so alone when you're focused on students and doing the work that's making such a powerful difference. Short of that, we are in a community of common cause virtually, but we know that in our spirit and our efforts, it's committed to the students that we know day in and day out are reaching for their dreams, and we have the potential to support. So, Examples of Excelencia really is focused on what works. And that core question is one that helped guide even the creation of Excelencia in Education. You know, for the last 16 years, we've been trying to find answers to the question, what works, with an unapologetic Latino lens. Because when we started this effort, we'd see things that were working, we'd get sent to databases and look at the technical elements to see, was it working for our students while serving all? And what we know is that it takes intentionality. You have to make sure we're focusing on our students, and does it work for them as well as others? And we've seen in many instances, if it works for Latino students, it can work for others, but it does require that groups that have historically not been engaged, that we are overt in reaching out and engaging them in a powerful way. And all of the programs that we're looking at today, that we are honoring and recognizing, do that. They know who their students are, they know who they're serving, and they're student-centered. They're serving the students with the needs they have to ensure that they can meet the dreams and opportunities that is why they went to college in the first place. So we're having these national conversations about college completion. We know in the current administration, there's this proposal of the College Completion Fund, America's Family Plan, lots of efforts of investing in evidence-based practices. Let me just say, we are ready for that. We have seen programs across the country that are making that powerful difference. And the kind of investment that's hopefully will pass is important. We're not waiting for those resources. What you're going to hear about today are those programs that are making a difference and are ready to get the kind of investment to allow them to serve more students, to do it so more holistically and in a manner that's even more meaningful and powerful. That's what we want to bring to you all, to think about these programs, to know about them, to learn about the positive difference they're making, in hopes that we have no excuse for inaction, that we're paying attention to those efforts overall. So we know these programs work. They all have evidence of effectiveness, and that's powerful in a conversation where sometimes decision makers, they don't work directly with students and don't know what's involved day to day. Some of the things we know they have in common: they're asset-based. They see Latinos from a strength-based perspective. They're data-informed, something I care a great deal about. I know many of us do. They're culturally responsive. They're holistic in strategy, and they acknowledge that education is a human enterprise. Despite all the wonderful metrics that we want to put together, as important as they might be, at the end of the day, it's about being student-centered and seeing that person and making sure they're supported to reach their goal. For our staff, this is a year-round enterprise, right? For more than 16 years, we've been looking to find programs and practices that informs our policy efforts, because good policy's got to be informed by good practice. And I will tell you, sometimes being in DC, hearing and reading about these programs across the country is inspiring. When it's challenging to talk at scale, when people don't know and see our community and the powerful potential and the strength of who we are and what we bring. This year, we had 314 nominations across 24 states, DC, and Puerto Rico. That's the symbolism, that's the representation we have across this country of people on the ground making a powerful difference for students day in and day out. We have 21 finalists, as has been mentioned, and I can tell you there was no small feat identifying 21 out of so many programs across the country making a powerful impact. All of the 21 programs and beyond are programs you should know about. They make a difference, and they can inform those of you who are looking to, maybe for the first time, reach out to Latino students, maybe seeing the growth of this population, or knowing you need to double down on the kinds of things that are making a powerful difference for you. So with so many wonderful programs, we rely on an external selection committee, some core colleagues and partners that are also doing this work, trying to make sure students are served and served well, intentionally, and that we can see they're making a difference for students. I'd like to just point out, because this is hard work, our staff, we're grateful to review it and to have others select. We believe all 21 to be examples of excelencia. We have Isis Archivega from Valencia College, Jose Cabrales from American Association of State Colleges and Universities, Chris Coxon from Educate Texas, Estela Lopez, a senior associate here at Excelencia in Education, Tia Brown McNair from the Association of American Colleges and Universities, Rafael Pasillas from the Council for Adult and Experiential Learning, Edward Smith from the Kresge Foundation, and Cynthia Velasco from the National Association of Latino Elected and Appointed Officials Educational Fund. These are organizations, partners, and allies who know the importance of what it takes to serve our students well. So with that intro, let's get to it, because this is really about recognizing the programs that are making such a powerful difference. The 2021 example of excelencia at the associate level is Ambiciones. Ambiciones is at Howard Community College in Columbia, Maryland. The mission of this program is to provide pathways to college completion for Latino students and their families by providing support from application to graduation. I feel like that's a tweet unto itself, application to graduation. They have 3 core goals, right? They want students to maintain good academic standing, increase retention rates, and increase transfer graduation rates. Now, those rates are symbolic of the kinds of practices that they're doing, and that's at the core, really, of Ambiciones. They provide bilingual outreach to students. They have staff trained in intrusive advising, financial aid, and culturally relevant programming to keep students engaged. They provide scholarships for first-year students, and they increase their awards in the second year to promote retention. That's a very holistic approach, making sure students are at the center. So as we always like to say, we want to make sure we know these are kinds of things that work. Is there evidence of effectiveness? Well, there's more. I just want to share with you 2 examples of why we know these programs are working, as you think about what this means for your students and for those who are looking to support programs like this. At Ambiciones, 90% of program participants met the good academic standing goal, compared to 81% of non-participating students. And second, the retention rate for first-time, full-time students was 91%, compared to 67% for non-participants. Those are just samples of the evidence of effectiveness that are grounded in the students and what they need at Ambiciones. Ultimately, though, this is about students. Let's hear from students participating in Ambiciones.
You always need that good support system, and I feel like Ambiciones has been a great pillar of support for not only myself but also my family, helping them financially too, and also helping them know that I have someone to fall back on here at HCC. For one, help with books and stuff. That's always been a big blessing. Two, the work study program that I was in, they helped me with the work study, so I was able to work with other students and gain experience doing stuff like presentations, office work. Now I have experience with Excel and PowerPoint and more experience with public speaking and stuff, so that's been a big impact in my life.
I'm a young mom. I'm 4 years old. So when I first, started college, I didn't know any idea, how to sign up for classes or anything. So I came to Howard and they introduced me to the Ambiciones program. They provide a lot of resources like scholarships, application, or like how to apply for learning assistance. It has helped me to step out of my box.
Me siento muy bien poder hablar con alguien en mi idioma porque eso me ayuda mucho, ya que no puedo hablar no muy bien el inglés, es como mitad y mitad. Me siento no me siento sola, como usted lo dice, me siento bien porque puedo contar con la ayuda de Ambiciones para cualquier duda de mis clases, cualquier problema que yo tenga.
I feel like nowadays inclusivity and diversity is so important, and I'm so glad that there's more Latino students coming to HCC and that they have an outlet and somewhere to go to.
Y pues ahora puedo decir que puedo seguir y que sí se puede.
Hi, I'm Congressman Kwesi Mfume, and it is a privilege to acknowledge and to recognize the Ambiciones program at Howard Community College for being recognized as a 2021 Example of Excelencia in the Associate Arts degree category. Excelencia in Education, a national organization focused on accelerating the success of Latino students in higher education, has chosen wisely. The Ambiciones program at Howard Community College is selected for this honor because of its work to provide a supportive environment for Hispanic and Latino students and their families as they navigate the college experience from application to graduation. The program assists with tutoring, mentoring, professional coaching, financial aid, scholarship research, and work study opportunities. The program also takes a hands-on approach to guiding first-generation college students through the higher education experience. Most importantly, it is committed to facilitating the success of Hispanic and Latino students as they matriculate through Howard Community College and beyond. I commend the Ambiciones program and Interim President Lynn Coleman for your work and wish both of you and all of you every success in the future. Congratulations on this well-deserved honor, and I know that the best is yet to come.
Representing the powerful team at Ambiciones is Sandy Cause, the Associate Director at Ambiciones.
Thank you, Excelencia, for this recognition and your tireless work in promoting Latino student success. I would like to thank our college leadership for responding to our community's needs with intentionality. To President Emeritus Dr. Kate Hetherington, Interim President Lynn Coleman, and Vice President of Student Services Dr. Cindy Paterka, thank you for your continued support for creating pathways to success for our Ambiciones students. Your support has allowed us to truly serve students from application to graduation. To our Academic Support Services team and Joel Solorzano, thank you for your hard work and determination in serving students. To our students, we would not be here without your hard work. For all the times you stopped by our offices, attended a workshop, sent a Canvas message, referred your friends or your family, supported other Ambiciones students, this recognition is yours. Recuerda que la educación es la mejor herencia. Let's keep going. Last but not least, thank you to our Associate Vice President, Deborah Green, for her development and implementation of the Ambiciones program. Your leadership and mentorship has been invaluable to the growth of our program and to the ability to serve our community. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Alberto Garofalo, President of Bank of America, New Jersey, and Chief CRA Officer for Bank of America, and it's great to be here with you today. Thank you, Excelencia in Education, for leading innovative and actionable efforts to accelerate the success of Latino students in higher education. We share your determination, your passion, and commitment, and we're working with community partners like Excelencia in Education, academic institutions, business leaders and experts, and the public and private sectors to continue to drive progress. Bank of America demonstrates its commitment to Hispanic and Latinos by investing in our teammates, committing to our clients, and connecting with our community.
Thank you. I mean, Ambiciones is a powerful program, and it's right nearby us. But there are programs across the country making a powerful difference in addition to Ambiciones. So the 2021 example of Excelencia at the baccalaureate level is Cardinal First at North Central College in Naperville, Illinois. The mission of Cardinal First is to provide a supportive and welcoming community for first-generation college students and their families. They provide a campus culture that recognizes and celebrates first-generation students, their identity, and sees it as an asset. They also provide a campus culture that makes sure that you're providing intentionality and connecting students to faculty, to resources, to information and experiences that promote academic and personal success from enrollment through graduation. So another one where you see this pathway element is so important. The way they do that, well, they prioritize retention across all 4 years through cohort-based, interactive, monthly workshops. And they name each one, which I find interesting. So they have Cardinal First Fridays, which is for first-year students, especially first-gen students. They have sophomore suppers, and they have penultimate, which is for juniors, and the home stretch, which is for seniors. They also provide intrusive outreach and making sure that all first-generation students and their families are provided the information the way they need it. And that might mean in Spanish, and they provide that as needed. So again, just a sample of their evidence of effectiveness for you to consider. The average first to third year retention rate for all students in Cardinal First is 84%. And comparison, it's 71% for all North Central College students and 53% for first-generation students not participating in the program. Second, it's not just that first year. So that you look at retention from first to third year, and for Latino students specifically, that rate is 85% versus a little bit under 70% for all Latino students and just under 50% for Latino students that are first generation and not participating in the program. So the potential, the impact of a program like this is very clear, even with the data. But again, the numbers and that evidence of effectiveness are critical for some of us who don't do the work on the ground, but the most powerful evidence comes directly from students. Let's hear from a student who participates in Cardinal First.
What being first gen means to me is exploring a landscape that you've never seen before. Almost going on a mission, and you've never been assigned these tasks, assigned these roles, and it's a journey.
Being a first generation college student in my family, my parents were not aware of what the college transition required. I basically did this all on my own, and I feel like Cardinal First allowed me to gain the knowledge of what college life requires.
It was the mentors. It was everyone, the Cardinal ambassadors who were there. They were always there for me, and every time I had a question about anything that I could think about, if it was about living on campus, if it was about academics, any kind of professional work related, they were always there to help me out. One of the things that I've learned through Cardinal First, and I think I remember it was my first year, was how to send a professional email correctly. And I remember attending the workshops, it was like how to send a signature, always having a signature at the bottom.
Last year, I was connected with many of the first-gen faculty in business and in science. Because of that, it helped me refine what I wanted to do later. And it was that first step of being first-gen that really, really helped me gain the confidence to talk to them. And now I work under certain professors, and it's been really, really helpful to my professional career.
Being part of Cardinal First, it allowed me to gain leadership experiences and research experiences my freshman year. And now I'm the Vice President of Academic Affairs of Student Government Association. I'm also a resident assistant, and I'm also the president of Cardinal Strong.
It kind of put me in a different place, in a different mindset. And for me to work hard for something, even though I do lack the resources, but yet it put me in a different place where I can work hard for it.
I feel like if you truly learn who you are and what you want to be, you would create anything you want in North Central.
Hello, Congressman Sean Casten here. Hey, I want to congratulate North Central College for your recognition for your Cardinal First program. But even more than that, I just want to thank you so much for the program. As I don't need to tell you guys, college can be just a magical and fantastic and kind of unique time. I certainly look back on my college years with a lot of fondness. But it can also be extremely disorienting and challenging when you're the first of your family to go to college, when you're surrounded by communities and cultures that are different than the ones you knew at home, and trying to acclimatize to all that without your normal support networks around. And I'm just so happy to hear of all that you've done to create this Cardinal First program, to provide that mentorship and bridging and get people through, because we're all at our best as a country when everybody lives up to their full potential. And I am so grateful for what you've done to do it. So congratulations again. Thanks. And I look forward to seeing you all in person soon. Be well.
Thank you. Representing Cardinal First is Julie Carballo, Director of First Generational Initiatives.
It is a tremendous honor to accept the award on behalf of North Central College's Cardinal First program. There isn't time to thank everyone, but I would like to extend special thanks to so many who've contributed their time and talent to Cardinal First since its launch in 2015. Thanks to our amazing first-gen student leaders, faculty, staff, graduate assistants, our assistant director, and campus partners. Thanks to our administration. This recognition is because of your commitment to our students and program. Thank you to Excelencia's visionary leaders, Sarita Brown and Deborah Santiago, and your entire team for recognizing Cardinal First, and much more importantly, for all you're doing to accelerate Latino student success in higher education. Congratulations to the other 2021 finalists. We look forward to being a part of the Excelencia community with you and learning more about your innovative and transformational programs. Cardinal First is committed to advancing outcomes for all first-gen students, including our increasing population of Latino students. We are excited, honored, and inspired to have Cardinal First and the success of our remarkable Latino students recognized by Excelencia. We are proud that Cardinal First is now included in the Growing What Works database, and we encourage other institutions to replicate our model of cohort-based programming from a student's first day on campus through graduation. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Ruben Barales, Senior Vice President for External Engagement at Wells Fargo. And I'm so proud that Wells Fargo has stepped up as a supporter of Excelencia in education. As the son of Mexican immigrants and as the first in my family to graduate from college, I understand how higher education can be a mystery for Latino working class families. And I know in my experience, I most likely would not have attended or succeeded in college had it not been for the intervention of a local Latino educator who helped me get into university. And as grateful as I am for my personal experience, I know that we can't leave Latino college success to chance. I know that we need more of what Excelencia in Education and its partners are doing across the country, identifying, amplifying, and multiplying successful strategies and programs that lead to college success at scale. What you do is helping Latino students, it's helping Latino families, and it's helping our increasingly diverse nation. On behalf of Wells Fargo, thank you for all that you do, and I'm looking forward to years of Excelencia in education. Thanks.
So powerful to hear about the associate level program and the baccalaureate graduate program. The baccalaureate program at the graduate level. The 2021 example of Excelencia is Éxito, Latino Cancer Research Leadership Training. And that is at the Institute for Health Promotion Research at the University of Texas Health San Antonio in San Antonio, Texas. Now, they shared with us that Latinos are expected to suffer a significant increase in cancer diagnoses. And at the same time, there's a shortage of Latino doctors and researchers. This requires a boost in the research workforce for Latino cancer health disparities. That's what Éxito does. Éxito Latino Cancer Research Leadership Training Programs, their mission is to increase the number of Latinos pursuing a doctoral degree and a career in Latino cancer health disparities. How do they do that? Well, some of their practices, they provide a culturally tailored 5-day summer institute, and that institute is really designed to address the knowledge of Latino cancer control, networking with Latino researchers, and understanding and learning the skills, resources, and support that's needed to apply to the doctoral program. They also provide paid internships to build research skills and to get experience in cancer research. And they also promote an academic support and career building pipeline. So it isn't just one and done, it's making sure there's a pipeline that is sustaining to make sure there's representation and there is attention to culturally responsive efforts. Some of their evidence of effectiveness at Éxito. 30% of Éxito alumni are currently enrolled in doctoral programs or have gone on to earn their doctoral degrees. All alumni either pursued an academic study or career field specific to Latinos and public health. Further, over 70% of Éxito alumni were employed full-time and 18% were employed part-time. And 32% currently work in a field directly related to cancer and 31% in a field indirectly related to cancer. Let's hear from some of the students who are participating in Éxito to make this kind of a difference.
Éxito put me in contact with great people, like great people, and that they have helped me because there are a lot of barriers. Number one is that you don't have a research team, and so all the grants, they don't, if you're not well known, so there's not a chance, right? To see other faculty members that I knew, it gave me confidence.
Latino students definitely thinking about, okay, should I apply for a PhD program? I have a lot to consider with, when it comes to family, life planning, marriage, children. And so I really like the fact that it really touched on all those things. And the people that presented, were going through different life situations and were still able to get a PhD. I participated that summer, and then I applied for PhD programs in the fall. And I think definitely just taking the tips that were given and really time management. I remember they gave us this really nice presentation about like what it takes to apply and how to prepare competitive applications. I think that really helped to get me into a good mindset of how much time it would take me. So I actually was able to apply to 2 programs and I got into both.
So right now, I think, I don't want to say it, but we received an approval. So that will be my first big grant. It's $450,000, which is fantastic. Like, I'm like,
As soon as I finished my PhD, I did a 1-year postdoc, and then I actually was able to get into a faculty position. And then just last year, I became the director of the research center that I worked at for the last 15 years. So in terms of career goals, I think definitely just continuing the mission of our center, which is to focus on Latino health disparities. So just continuing to make sure that I'm motivating and preparing students to apply for master's programs, but also PhD programs.
Muchos saludos a todos. I am Norma Cantu, and I am very proud to celebrate with you today the award that is being presented to Éxito, the Latino Cancer Research Leadership Training Program based here in San Antonio, Texas. This celebration today is particularly exciting because I can see in San Antonio how important it is for us to have trained graduate professionals who can battle this plague of cancer, who can battle this illness, and that they will understand and be able to give support to the Latino community and the community at large. Te celebramos, te felicitamos. We are so proud of you, Éxito. Gracias todos.
Representing Éxito is Dr. Amelie Ramirez, Director and Principal Investigator.
The Éxito team is very honored and humbled to be recognized by the wonderful team at Excelencia in Education. And a special thank you to Deborah and to Sarita. The work you are doing to promote Latinos in higher education is much needed across our nation. As you know, education is so critical for our population. There's a tremendous gap in the diversity in our healthcare workforce, and Latinos face a deficit in the number of medical and public health degrees that have been confirmed. Less than 6% of Latinos actually get into a graduate program. So that's why we launched Éxito. Éxito was to really build those skills that our Latinos needed to go from a master's program into a doctoral program. We started in 2010, and the program continues to grow. Every year, Éxito recruits the best and the brightest Latino master's level students. It's a competitive acceptance, and we expose them to culturally tailored and curriculum and tools that they need to pursue a doctoral degree. So again, we thank NCI for the special support that it's given us throughout the years. I'm very pleased to report that of the 226 Éxito alumni, 30% of them are already either graduated or enrolled in a doctoral program. So we hope to see more of those that are still pending to continue to apply. We're truly trying to build a pipeline of the next great Latino cancer researchers. And again, thank you for this wonderful recognition. Les damos las gracias de nuestro corazón por este especial reconocimiento. Y mil gracias.
Education is an essential and powerful tool. And while talent is created equally, access and opportunity are not. To continue to support and advance Hispanic and Latino students' education and professional careers, we must invest in their future. JP Morgan Chase has committed $30 billion to help bridge the racial wealth gap in Black, Hispanic, and Latino communities, while also focusing on building a more diverse and inclusive workforce and a pipeline of diverse talent for people at all career levels. As part of our commitment, next year we will launch a full-time fellowship program specifically tailored to provide learning tools and professional development skills to Hispanic and Latino undergraduate sophomores. Creating a sustainable way to support Hispanic and Latino students is not an easy task, and we know we cannot do this alone. This is why we're honored to support Excelencia in Education's mission to promote Latino student success in higher education. And Trailblazers, Examples of Excelencia, being recognized today. We know that supporting Hispanic and Latino students translates into supporting the economic growth and opportunities of tomorrow. Together, we will help them achieve success. Muchas gracias, Excelencia.
Thank you all so much. It's such critical work that's happening that you've heard pathways, pipelines, holistic measures of support for students and their families, and linking it all to community. Speaking of community, our 2021 example of Excelencia at the community-based organization level is Conexión América's College Success Program, and that is based at Conexión Américas in Nashville, Tennessee. The mission and goal of Conexión Américas, in fact, their vision is to help first-generation immigrant and refugee students in Nashville complete college and impact their families' long-term success. This program, the College Success Program, is a continuation of their Escalera College Access Program, located in 3 high schools in southeast Nashville. So how do they do this? Well, they've got some goals that are much more specific. They equip first-generation Latino college students to persist in graduating from college and with career readiness. And they do that by increasing students' knowledge and confidence in applying to college. They connect students with enriching career exploration opportunities. They build more understanding and capacity throughout their community about the specific needs and challenges of their students, and particularly undocumented and DACA students. The program provides first-year student programming, including a summer bridge program, one-on-one individual coaching sessions, case management, FAFSA assistance, bilingual Spanish and English information and referrals, amongst the many things that they do. And I want to make sure that they are intentional in providing Latino students with culturally and linguistically relevant programming and wraparound support services. There's even a longer list of things that they do, but that gives you a sense of what it's like to be holistic and make sure you're serving your students in Nashville, Tennessee. So a little bit of their evidence of effectiveness. They focused on persistence rates when they shared with us the impact that they were having across the institutional efforts that they're doing. And the persistence rate for Latino students who entered post-secondary education for the first time, from the first year to the second year, is 95%. And between terms, remained above 77%. Now, when they compared and they gave us information about what that looks like nationally, that persistence rate is about 72%. They also took a look at the college completion rate for Latino students who participate in Conexión América's College Success Program. And they saw that 74% of those students, that was their completion rate, compared to 64% for Latino students in Tennessee who started as undergraduates. Again, that's just a sampling, but it shows that we're not only doing the work and focusing on students, but that we've got data that shows the evidence and the impact that what we're doing is making a constructive difference for students. Again, let's hear from students at Conexión América's College Success Program about the impact the program has had on them.
I was in the Escalera program when I was in high school. Once I graduated, I transitioned into the College Success Program, and I was actually part of the first cohort ever. I think it is one thing to go to college, but going and getting through college is a completely different obstacle. More than anything with self-advocacy, really being able to hone in those skills of like, what is it that I need to do? How do I advocate for my needs in order for me to be successful on campus?
The College Success Program has impacted my life by providing support through a lot of the processes I had to go through to get into college. For example, FAFSA, filing as an independent student verification, was very complicated, but my college coach, she supported me through all of that. Also in career development, my coach was able to help me build my resume and make it so that it was presentable, acceptable, and I did get the internships that I applied for.
Currently, I'm now a junior at TSU studying biology, and that was mainly just because of the help of my college success coach. They have played a huge role in helping me by helping me pick my classes, by giving me constructive feedback, and just overall helping me throughout my college career.
After graduating college, I realized that Conexión Américas, which is the organization that ran the Escalera program when I was in high school, had an opening, and I really wanted to plug back in and give back to the community. So I'm currently running the Escalera program at the same high school in which I attended, and I was part of that program. So it's really been a full circle.
Hi, I'm Congressman Jim Cooper, a congressman for the Nashville, Tennessee area. I want to commend Conexión América's College Success Program because it's just won an award nationwide as one of the best programs in America to help first let people know about college opportunities, second, help prepare them for those opportunities, and third, help them live up to their maximum potential. Conexión has been doing a great job for a long time in helping all of our communities succeed. And now with the College Success Program, we've achieved national recognition for our success. This is really important. Congratulations, Conexión, and congratulations to the College Success Program.
Representing Conexión América's College Success Program is Maria Paula Zapata, Interim Director of Programs.
Thank you, Excelencia in Education, for this recognition of our steadfast commitment to the success of Latino students. My name is Maria Paula Zapata, Interim Director of Programs at Conexión Américas, the leading Latino serving organization in Tennessee, whose mission is to build a welcoming community and create opportunities where Latino families can belong, contribute, and succeed. It is an honor to accept this award on behalf of Conexión Américas, our dedicated college success team, Carla McIntyre and Lindley Stowe, and our incredible college students. We are in excellent company, so I extend congratulations and gratitude for the work of all the finalists. Thank you to the funders who have made our work possible. The Scarlett Family Foundation, the Maddox Fund, United Way of Greater Nashville, the HCA Foundation, and Unidos US. Your longtime support of our vision has been essential to our success. In 2016, Conexión Américas served its first cohort of college students through our College Success Program, and since then, our staff has worked tirelessly to provide individualized advising, coaching, and support to promote the educational and career success of first-generation college students. This award is a testament to our students, many of whom balance working, caring for siblings, and contributing to their families financially, all while doing their studies. Latinx students continue to thrive and show incredible persistence on their path to belong, contribute, and succeed. To all the college students that we serve, we see you and we honor you. Muchísimas gracias, Excelencia in Education, for choosing us as the example under the CBO category. We are honored to receive this award.
Hola, me llamo María Medrano, and I'm the Senior Director of Diversity, Strategy, Narrative, and Partnerships here at Google. As a graduate of an HSI, San Jose State University, and a Latina sitting in our Latinx Leadership Council here at Google, I can speak proudly when I say how honored we are to be named Latino Student Success Champions. Within the tech industry, and especially here at Google, we're undergoing a moment of racial justice reckoning, particularly in how we actualize our commitments to communities of color, and especially within our Latino community. For those watching, this is no surprise. In Silicon Valley, Latinos represent 40% of the overall population, but only comprise 3% of the high-tech workforce. Within Google, that number is higher. But if our commitment is to build for everyone, to make diversity, equity, and inclusion part of everything we do, from how we build our products to how we build our workforce, then we must continue to invest in and partner with organizations who are developing evidence-based practices, interventions, and programs in the universities for future Latino tech leaders. With that said, partnering with Excelencia in Education just makes so much sense. Through a unified commitment to drive internal and external systemic changes for Latino students interested in tech careers, it is my hope that we can work together to foster the next generation of Latino technologists.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope you heard, there are programs across the country. We had programs in Maryland and in just as we heard here, in Tennessee, and so many places across the country. We shared with you the 4 examples of Excelencia, but as has been mentioned already, there were 21 finalists, of which these 4 are a part. Which means there's 16 programs that reached that high level. And for our staff, it was really helpful to have a selection committee review because we couldn't choose among them. But we want to bring attention to them because if we're really serious about making sure that we are bringing attention to investing and supporting the programs that are making a difference for our students, you need to know about these programs. You need to make sure that you're paying attention to the kinds of things we know that matter. So what I'd like to do is ask our colleagues who were finalists to, when your program gets called, if you would wave to all of those who are there so they can see you in hopes that they'll be able to learn more about you and follow up to see what's making such a powerful difference in your efforts. I'd like to start by, at the associate level, the Guided Pathways Advising Through Coaching program that is Austin Community College. We also have the EDGE Pledge program that's at the College of the Desert. We have the School of Science STEM Research Institute that's at Miami-Dade College. We've got the Ostos Community College Joint Dual Engineering Degree Program, and that's at CUNY's Grove School of Engineering. as a partner with Hostos. We have the Transitional Bilingual Learning Community at Harry S. Truman College. At the baccalaureate level, we have FIU Connect for Success. That's at Florida International University. The GANAS program, that's at Portland State University. The Gateway Project, that's at Florida International University. The Mathematics Intensive Summer Session, that's at California State University, Fullerton. The Park Supplemental Instruction Program at California State University, Sacramento. Pioneras at Texas Women's University. The UHD STEM Training Center for Underrepresented Future Workforce at the University of Houston downtown. At the graduate level, we also have the UTSA MS Business Program at the University of Texas, San Antonio. At the community-based organization level, we have the Building Bridges Through Education program that's at West Michigan Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Catch the Next Ascender program, doing great work at Catch the Next. First Gen Forward at Latino U College Access. And Kid City Hope Place at Los Angeles United Methodist Urban Foundation. These are all programs that are making such a powerful difference. I'd ask you all to just wave to everybody here so we can see you again. I know we called you out individually. It's so important that we follow up with these programs making a powerful difference. Thank you all for what you do. We look forward to bringing attention to your good work and making sure others can bring attention and replicate what you do in a powerful way.
What fills the room is the spirit that we can do this work together. What just filled your screen are the faces of professionals who wake up every day committed to their students. That's the joy of a capstone event like Celebración de Excelencia. For those of us who work on this effort for many months before we bring it to you, one of the things that we really focus on is the question of common cause. You've seen it and you've heard it throughout this presentation. Those who are sponsors, those who recognize, all who work on it. At this moment in our annual Celebración de Excelencia, we introduce to you a person that we choose because they have made common cause, and their life's work is absolutely in that wonderful array of colleagues and allies. Sometimes you know them well for many years, and sometimes you discover them because the cause calls you to act. The person that we introduce to you today, she's in that first category. We've known her for years, and the person I am speaking of is Mónica Lozano, a leader in many sectors and in many ways. She had a long and accomplished career in media with La Opinión, the country's leading Spanish language daily newspaper, and its parent company, Empremedia. Throughout the evolution of her career and that industry, she stayed true to the core mission to inform, educate, and empower the Latino community through relevant, unique, and high-quality content. Today, she shares her skills and leadership with the Aspen Institute and co-founded Latinos and Society program. She serves on the board of many companies and civic efforts, including Apple, Bank of America, and the Governor's California Higher Education Recovery with Equity Task Force. Her sustaining commitment to equity and excellence in higher education permeates her life's work, and it's how we know her best. And it absolutely animates her role as president and chief executive officer of the College Futures Foundation. Mónica, the floor is yours.
So thank you so much for having me with you today for this celebration. I'm joining you from my home in Los Angeles, And I so look forward to the day when we can all be together in person for that big, warm Excelencia hug that Sarita and Deborah are known for. I want to thank both of them for their amazing leadership, and I want to congratulate all of the honorees and everybody who is gathered today to celebrate the excellent work that you do, con excelencia. I also want to make a reference to another theme in addition to excelencia, and that is esperanza, hope. There is such a sense of hope and optimism that permeates our work, that gives us the motivation to every day wake up and do what we do, and to do it with love and to do it with care. And so these two themes of excelencia and esperanza are the themes that I want to bring forward in my remarks today. We at College Futures, we come to our work every day with that deep sense of hope and optimism, because we do it on behalf of students. And we know that they deserve so much more from this society and from this educational system. We hold dearly our mission of improving BA degree completion for Black, Brown, low-income, undocumented first-generation students. That is our North Star, BA completion. But we do it wrapped by the values of College Futures. And what are those values? The first is equity. We ground everything in these core values that we are committed to equity and justice in our organization, in our community, and in educational institutions. We also come to this work deeply committed to the courage that it takes. This is hard work. What you are engaged in is difficult work, and it takes courageous leaders like you who are willing to buck the status quo, to say more is demanded of us in order for us to serve those students that we so care about. We also do this in community. We do it in partnership with organizations like Excelencia. No one stakeholder group can do this alone. So we come to this in community and in a sense of true collaboration. And we do it with curiosity because we don't have the answers. We look to you and to others to help guide us in so many ways. So our core values and our mission sit at the center of what we do: equity, courage, community, and curiosity. And around that, if we were to think of this as concentric circles, we surround our mission and our values with a deep sense of possibility, of dreams, that this work is really about bringing to life the dreams of so many in our community. So many of our parents who said, mijo, mija, get an education, educate. It can never be taken from you once you have it. So it is that dream of education and quality education that surrounds so much of what we do. And then we do it in the context of hope and optimism. We come to this every single day, recognizing that that sky can turn an even brighter blue, and that so much more can be demanded of us and of the systems that we so care about. And I am especially hopeful right now because having come through this pandemic and seeing the devastating consequences that it has had on our students, on our families, on our communities, on individuals, and yet there is light at the end of this tunnel. And the light that I'm talking about is this deep sense of being able to reimagine and reinvent a system that is more equitable. There's no more talk about recovery. There's no talk about going back. It says to ourselves, we say to ourselves, and we say among our communities, let us use this as an opportunity to rebuild towards something new, something more equitable, something more inclusive, something where we have a deep sense of belonging. And it is especially this conversation of not recovering, but reimagining and reinventing that invigorates me so much and gives me that deep sense of optimism. Because we are now talking about centering students, not institutions. We are talking about educational equity and closing those disparity gaps. We're talking not just about financial aid, but total cost of attendance and what is that burden that students bear? Transportation, childcare, housing, food, books. How do we help support students with all of their needs so that they can succeed in their educational journey? We are talking about addressing student basic needs and holistic student supports. We are talking about what does an inclusive and supportive institutional learning environment look like, where we show up with a deep sense of belonging and permanence. We are talking about delivering students to their dreams. We are talking about deep systemic transformational change. And change is going to come, and you are the ones who are making it happen. I was in an event just a week or two ago here in California with the governor of California, where he signed a number of bills and unleashed $47 billion to support higher education programs here in the state of California. We have equity-minded, diverse champions that are courageous and are leading institutions. Here in California, if you can believe it, all three of our systems are led by persons of color. So there is a growing chorus of voices that is committed to excelencia, that comes to this with esperanza, that recognizes that this is a moment like no other. So to all of you champions, to all of you that are winners today and that are doing this work day in and day out, thank you so much. Congratulations to you. You do it for students, you do it for your institutions and your campuses. You are doing it for the country and for the prosperity and the long-term well-being of our nation. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Monica, for those words, excelencia and esperanza. You know, we have to keep having this conversation, and we've got to keep the action going. This is not a recognition because we're one and done. This is an example of what's possible, what's happening across the country, day in and day out. Sometimes with limited resources, often, too often with limited resources. And that's not stopping the action. And that creates opportunity to say, what more could we do with the investment and support that these students, these families, these communities need to make the kind of difference, to have the kind of hope that is so critical, to be able to seize the opportunity of excellence in a way that contributes to their lives, their families, the communities, and the nation. We think about this a lot because students deserve excellence, and we've got to ensure that hope, that to see what's possible, doesn't diminish. And these are challenging times, and they have been for many for so long. And that hope needs to get fed. It needs to be recognized. It needs to be supported. What you heard of these 21 programs that we just brought attention to you today at this national stage? Those are the people that are making a difference. Those are the programs, the institutions, the community-based organizations. And they've made a choice. They've said there's no excuse for inaction, right? We know what's working. We're going to build it, and we're going to make sure our students are there. And they've taken the time to make sure there's evidence of effectiveness. Many of us know that this is a heart enterprise. This isn't just about the data and the metrics, but to be able to talk to people in a manner where you think, data are the language of decision makers, is to make sure that we leave no stone unturned in making sure our students are front and center in the work that we do. Many of us who do this work are privileged because we have a college education. And I know we believe to whom much is given, much is expected. That is the opportunity before us. And whether it's the pandemic, the limited resources, the challenges faced day in and day out that are very real and that we have to address in a meaningful way, it is the opportunity that we know is before us. That's what we can seize. All of you who are with us today, thank you for being with us. We know the Excelencia team overall, we are grateful. It is inspiring to hear the good work happening day in and day out. We don't have the good fortune of working directly with students, but we do it on behalf of those. And we have a really small, mighty team, and hopefully you'll look on the website for all those. I wanted to especially call out 2 of our many staff that are day in and day out making such a positive difference at the national level to ensure we're paying attention. And that is Adriana Rodriguez, our Vice President for Programs. She has worked tirelessly over the last year to make sure that we are constant connection with those programs and efforts to help them tell their story, as so many of our team have done. And Michelle Santiago, who's gone out of her way to make sure that we can communicate this using our leverage and our stage to make sure that the good work doesn't just stay in an institution, in a program, but that others are aware of this good work. I'd encourage you to take a look at the compendium we've put together this year, What Works for Latino Student Success. It is on our website, and it tells you more detailed information about each of these programs and gives you a point of contact if you want to know more. The experts in this space are the ones that are doing the work, and you can find their information there. There's websites, there's contact information. Please make sure there isn't any excuse for inaction on your part to make sure students are served and served well and intentionally. So while you're serving all, you're making sure with the Latino lens that your Latino students are served in a powerful way. I also want to make sure that we pay attention to the kind of building momentum. It's powerful, right? At Excelencia, we've been trying to bring attention. When we couldn't find anything out there, we created it. And what's the Growing Works database and Examples of Excelencia. So many who are doing this work are creating it because it isn't there. And with all the challenges we face, we know that this is happening on our watch. On systemic issues, the inequities, the challenges, those aren't what define us. It is the opportunity and the effort we are doing to make sure that we are giving back and giving forward in a way that is serving our students and bringing the future and building the momentum for what we know we want to see and what we can be as an individual, a community, and a society. So thank you for your efforts, all of you who are with us today. Thank you again to the 21 programs there. Thank you to every single program and people that power that are part of the Growing Works database that's available on Excelencia's website. It's free. It's online. It's the commitment we have to make sure that we share what we find working. We hope that you'll pay attention to the programs you mentioned, also those, and when we look at 2022, we're going to do this again. We have to keep bringing attention to what's making a powerful difference. I know at Excelencia, Sarita and myself and all of our team have committed to making sure that we double down on these efforts. As we hear at the national dialogue about college completion and what's working and choosing whether or not to invest, whatever happens in this current administration and this current Congress, there are opportunities for all of us to invest and contribute. And Excelencia want to do our part to make sure that's the case. Please join us, join all of these programs in making sure that our students get what they deserve to reach the opportunities and the potential that we all have. Thank you so much.